Now you might be watching TV. Which one is your favorite TV program? You might be listening to radio, reading newspaper, and surfing internet. So all these are collectively, that is radio, TV, newspaper, internet, and all these are collectively called as media, or they are mode of communication. The word is media, and we'll talk about the media, how it affects us, what is the idea of media in the democracy. We'll try to learn that. Now everything which we know now is through television, is through newspaper. So media is we call them as a media. Media is a plural form of word medium. And what is medium? It describes the various way through which we communicate in society. Because media refers to all means of communication. Ranging from phone call to news, to TV channel, to radio, to newspaper. Now this reaches, because TV and newspaper, this especially TV and radio, it reaches millions of people. That means masses across the country, across the world. That is why they are termed as mass media. So media and technology, media is totally dependent on the technology, because we cannot think about television, we cannot think about internet without technology. So technology in media keeps on changing. See, previously we used to watch Doordarshan. Now we have more than 400 channels on our television. Newspaper, television and radio can reach millions of people because they use technology. We also tend to discuss newspaper and magazines as the print media, the TV and radio as electronic media, right? Print media which comes on print, and electronic media which you see on television or hear. There are technologies being involved, and you will see the sense of the photograph and the technology. Like previously it was just a television, now it's 4K, 5K, HD, Ultra HD. This is how the mobile and the television technology has changed. LCD, LED, like this. Now changing technology or machines and making technology more modern, this helps media to reach more in order to improve the quality of sound and images you see. But technology does more than this. It changes the way we think. For instance, today it is quite difficult for us to think of our lives without television. Everyone has television in their houses. So television images, they travel within no time. First, let me just show you that this is an artist's impression of Gutenberg printing the first sheet of Bible. So television image, they travel huge distances within no time through satellites and cables. So not even news, but the entertainment is also through all these media. Most of the cartoons that you see are either from Japan or United States. So even if you are sitting in Delhi or Dehradun, Jammu, Chennai, you can watch games happening in, say, UK, or some earthquake happening in, say, Indonesia. So television has brought the world closer to us. Now media, everything comes with a cost. So media and money. The different technologies that mass media employ or use, they are expensive. Just think about TV studio. You only see newsreader, but along with that, we have lights, cameras, sound, recorders, transmission satellites, and they all cost a lot of money. So all have to be paid. All have to be paid. And the technology, they keep on changing. So a lot of money has to be spent in getting the latest technology. And this is because the television channels and newspaper, where a lot of money is involved, are part of mostly big business houses. So big business houses own them. Here is the first television. John Baird, he sits in front of the apparatus with which he demonstrated to Royal Institute his invention, the television This is an early television, and it has changed multifold now. So mass media is constantly thinking of ways to make money. How do they do it? Advertising. Because many products, many manufacturers, they give advertisement on the television or newspaper. Now, watching your favorite television show, you will see, or in cricket match between overs, and if someone gets out, then you will see various advertisement in between repeatedly. That means, why repeatedly? Because they want you to go and buy the same thing. And as you learn about the advertisement, these are repeated. Why? Because they want you to get it, to buy it, because they are actually somehow related to some big business houses. Media and democracy. Now this becomes very important. So this is a picture. The cost to advertise on a news channel, it varies. I'll not speak out the numbers because these have changed multifold, and for few seconds a lot of money has to be paid by the advertisement agencies or the manufacturers in order to show their advertisement on the media. So in democracy also, media is considered as the fourth pillar. So it plays a very important role in providing news and discusses everything which is going on in the country and the world. This is how the citizen know about the information, what is going on. That is how government work. And often, if they wish, they can take action on the basis of the news. How can they do that? They can write letters to the concerned minister. They can organize a public protest. They can start a signature campaign, and they can ask the government to rethink its program or policies. So this is the important part of media. Let us understand with two versions that how the balanced media work. We need the information to be balanced. That means both the views from the Paksh and Vipaksh, both has to be understood. Now these are two paper cuttings, and this is the crackdown on polluting factories. Now the News of Indian report has actually mentioned that people are who are getting work, or they are not getting work, means they were getting work but now they are not getting work. So they are responsible for the huge traffic jams. They are protesting, and this pollution caused by these manufacturers or industries, they have to be taken out of the city. So this is the one way of putting it. Now what India Daily did, India Daily reported that they were taken out, they were told to go out from the place where they are in, but they are not provided adequate relocation efforts. Now here the point is, this newspaper cutting or this newspaper report is only talking about the problems of owners and the workers, but there has to be both ways. So this is not, both of them are not balanced. See, I'll just summarize this, that the News of India, you see the protesters, they are biased, that they are saying that protesters are nuisance. They are disrupting traffic and because the factories are polluting the city. So it gives you a bad impression already in your mind as a audience or as a viewer or as a newspaper reader, that these people are not good. But if you see India Daily, this report, you would know that the protests are because of lot of livelihoods will be lost if the factories close, because the relocation efforts are not been adequate. So both the stories are not balanced. So balanced report is the one that discusses all points of view of a particular story, and then it leaves to the readers. They don't judge, they don't give their verdict, but they leave it to the readers to make up their minds. So writing a balanced report depends on the media being independent. That is not the case right now. And independent media means that no one should control and influence its coverage of news. No one should tell the media that what can be included or what should not be included. And independent media is very important for our democracy. So you have seen two biasing. One was biased to one party, other was biased to another party. So it is important that the information we get should be reliable and should not be biased. But as I said, in reality, the media is not very dependent. Why? Because there are two reasons. First of all, the control of the government that is on the media. The government prevents either the new items seen from the movie or lyrics songs being shared with the larger public, and they can censor it. They can cut short that. So this is the censorship. And you might have recalled, or you can recall about the emergency between 1975 and 1977. So what does TV do to us, and what can we do with TV? So TV gives us information like Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi, Kaun Banega Crorepati, etc. Now what happens here is, what TV gives us, what TV feeds us, we just keep in our mind, and we just next day flush it out with your friends, or you keep that thing in your mind. But the basic thing is, whatever information we are getting, it is important to understand that this information is what being given to us. It may be biased. So just use your intellect, use your logic to understand that whatever is being showed is not entirely true. So you have to see the independent media, like there are certain channels which I cannot name right now, but they are independent media. Newspapers also, they are independent. So you can just see them, or if you're seeing others, you should use your mind. Just don't get carried away by the agenda of any newspaper or television. So these are the censorship which are going on. We just need a balanced story, and most of the time the person who researched the media, they have said that this happens. Why? Because the censorship happens, or the biasing, or one type of story is being shown because they are controlled by big business houses, and the interest of business focus on one side. Media continual need for money, because the news channels and newspapers, they need money to sustain, so they need advertisement. From where they will get the advertisement? If media can advertise, then only it can sustain. So it has to advertise, and there are these business hubs or business houses, they give them the advertisement. So that is how media cannot be considered independent at this time. And beside this, the media also tend to focus on a particular story, aspect of a story, because that story becomes interesting. They want TRP, they want more newspaper to be sold. So this is how, if they make it interesting, then only people are going to see the story. Otherwise, no one is interested. No one watches Doordarshan right now. They watch NDTV, they watch Z News and Aaj Tak, etc. Because the way they put the story is very exciting. People get glued to the story. Then setting agendas, as we said, that annual function at your school, if it is there, then nobody is going to come to cover it. But if some say chief guest is some big famous actor, everyone will come there, just because they need some information. People not want to know about this famous actor. They are not interested in your school or college. So this is how the shaping up of agenda takes place. Media drew our attention to very recently Coca-Cola or cola or cold drinks. They have pesticides. Now they published reports that indicated the high level of pesticides and made us aware. And they forced the manufacturers to follow the international quality and safety standards. Just think that government resistance was there, but still they did that. And they forced us and also the government to change the standards and to force the manufacturers to bring the level of content of pesticides as low as possible. And there are other things also. See, what happens that if something is important, like for us, drinking water is important. People are not getting enough water, and the journalists, they are interested in the fashion shows. They are not interested in the slums being demolished in Mumbai. Why? Because most of the people, they are interested in them rather than knowing about what is happening to the poor people in say Mumbai or any other place, So this is also a biasing. This is also TRP driven approach. So as a citizens of our country, the media has a very important role. So this is a local media there is a newspaper called Khabar Lahariya. Now this was started, this is actually a fortnightly coming, means in 15 days this newspaper comes, and this newspaper was started by Dalit women in Chitrakoot district in Uttar Pradesh, and it comes in Bundeli, the local language, and it raises the issue of Dalit, violence against women, political corruption. So the newspaper actually reaches farmers, shopkeepers, panchayat members, school teachers, women, and who have recently learned to read and write. So this is how the local media also help in making the awareness or creating awareness among the people. So as we said that the media decides the agenda, and government can provide government can set the censorship. Now media's close relationship with business often means that the balanced report is very difficult to come. And this is important for us to know about the factual information. Just don't listen to one side. Try to understand both the sides and then analyze what is true information and what information is provided to you and what information is not provided to you. And you can also take action as a citizen, good citizen of the country. So there are certain words which have come here, like publish. What is publish? This publish refers to news reports, articles, interviews and stories that are printed in newspaper, magazines and book for a wide audience to read. And censorship, this refers to the powers that government has to disallow certain part of news or media from publishing or showing certain stories. And what does this broadcast means? And this broadcast is actually a technical word. So in this chapter, this word is used to refer TV or radio program. TV program are telecasted, radio program are broadcasting. So these are widely transmitted. What is public protest? When a large number of people come together and openly state their opposition to certain issue which due to the policy or the program by the government. So organizing a rally, starting a signature campaign, blocking the roads, these are some of the ways in which this can be done.